Hello everyone, welcome to the February 26th, 2017 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. In this segment, we'll take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions. What's happening in the Zodiac for February 26th to March 5th and beyond. The big event this week is that Mars changes signs in the sidereal zodiac, leaving Pisces and entering Aries on Wednesday, March 1st. After spending 6 weeks in the sign of the Fishes, Mars now proceeds to the sign of the Ram. This is good news for Mars because Aries is one of the signs Mars rules, and a planet in its own sign makes that planet strong and happy. Therefore, Mars's significations do well for the next 6 weeks. It's a great time for initiating new projects, taking independent action, engaging in competition, sports events, and so forth. On the downside, the Mars qualities of haste and impulsiveness also get a boost. There is a small problem which happens for the first few days while Mars is making its entry into Aries. The borderline between a water sign, Pisces, and a fire sign, Aries, is a kind of no man's land, a pothole in the zodiac, called Conjunct in Vedic astrology. So, better to wait on that new project until after this week, after Mars gets through the transition process. And there's another short-term issue. Notice that the Moon is tightly conjunct Mars and Uranus on the very day of the ingress into Aries. The Moon adds energy to the planet it conjuncts, but here it's happening while both are in a rather dubious zone of the zodiac. The Moon's emotional energy, added to Mars's need for action, produces risky maneuvers that don't end up well. So, again, best to wait until at least the end of the week before moving forward. Another thing that happens by virtue of Mars leaving Pisces, Venus and Jupiter will no longer be afflicted by the challenging energy of the planet of fight and controversy. Venus's energy of compromise and agreement is in mutual aspect with Jupiter's energy of truth and wisdom. So, this sounds like a good thing, making it conceivable that some of the controversies of the past month get resolved somehow. Uranus is still involved, being directly opposite Jupiter, but now that Mars is out of the picture, Uranus is only affected by 2 benefic planets, so some of its more positive significations can manifest, like realizations, humanitarian concerns, and new approaches to solving problems. And then, on Saturday, March 4th, Venus goes retrograde. The planet of love and relationship will be going backwards in the zodiac, all of it in sidereal Pisces, for the next 6 weeks until April 14th. Retrograde planets are close to the Earth, therefore extra bright in the sky. Venus will be visible as the evening star on the western horizon after sunset. A retrograde planet is going back over the degrees of the zodiac that it recently traversed. In other words, going back to the past. Therefore, this is a time when Venus significations are to be reviewed. It's a time for reassessing your romance, your agreements, your purchases, your values, and so forth. Generally, when a planet is retrograde, its significations do not operate normally. Romance will be reconsidered. Sometimes this means rekindling a romance that fell apart. Venus is the planet of value and cost. True value is harder to determine when Venus is retrograde. So this is not a good time to make an important purchase. You risk getting a case of buyer's remorse. The birth chart of anything getting started during these 6 weeks will forever have Venus retrograde in its chart. In other words, be subject to being reconsidered. So, this would not be the right time to get married, or to sign an agreement, or to host an important social event. Another interesting wrinkle in this Venus retrograde period is that since it will be opposite Jupiter, which is also retrograde, we have a double retro situation. 2 retrograde planets in mutual aspect, that is, influencing each other. Both are traveling backwards in the zodiac, in other words, revisiting the past. Therefore, there will be a lot of emphasis on going back over past events. Now, note that Venus, the planet of guidance and advisors, is in Pisces, a sign that is especially intuitive. Jupiter, the planet of truth and justice, is in Virgo, the sign of details and analysis. This arrangement suggests looking to the past for guidance and investigations into the past, which will turn up such things as the truth. For instance, Trump and Company's past dealings. And another interesting thing, during this week, Mercury and Neptune are in conjunction. The planet of rational thinking and making decisions is combining with the planet of fantasies and deception. The result is miscalculation, confusion, misunderstandings. Therefore, this is not the best time to be making important decisions. Since Mercury is the planet of communications and therefore the media, there will also be a lot of media spin. And once again, my little pitch for donations. If you appreciate what this YouTube channel does for you, please help keep it going by visiting the donation page and making a contribution. Thanks. And until next week.